was 2 a.m. and my phone buzzed as if it had something urgent to tell me. My chest tightened and my heart raced. I knew exactly what it was. The notifications that the new iPhone 17 has launched. Everyone would have it. And before I knew it, I'd be left behind. My phone, my loyal companion, which had been through every late night scrolling and awkward selfie, suddenly felt outdated. I ran to my mom, eyes wide, voice trembling. Mom, I need it. Everyone will have it. I bargained with chore promises, dramatic essays on responsibility, and even pledging to clean my room perfectly. I was ready to sell my soul, or at least my social life, to the Apple gods. But in between that absurd moment, it hit me. It wasn't the phone that I really wanted. It was what it represented. Status, approval, and belonging. It was as if a tiny glowing rectangle held my decisions in its light. And if something so small could control my happiness, what else am I letting people dictate in my life? And I wasn't alone. So many of us feel this pull every single day. According to research by the Cambridge University Press, adolescents are highly influenced by their peers. In a research of over 144 teens, simply being observed or receiving peer feedback changed their behavior. Sometimes encouraging kindness, but often pushing towards riskier choices. Teens are highly likely to make decisions based on social approval. The more time they spend with their peers, the stronger the influence becomes. Now, influence isn't inherently negative, but it may guide choices that may not be your own. So if teens can be swayed by group chats, imagine what happens when even world leaders are influenced by those around them. Take Julius Caesar. Most remember him for the Ides of March and the brutal betrayal that followed. But the real story is even subtler. On the weeks leading up to March 15th, he received warnings, some urging caution, others dismissing the threat. Each and every voice shaped his perception until influence had already guided his decision long before the dagger struck. Now, history doesn't only show us people who are swayed by it, but also people who rose above it. Take leaders like Mandela and activists like Malala, who show the true power of believing in your own voice. Mandela once said, "I never lose. I either win or learn." Even under pressure, he chose his voice over approval. And Malala, she risked everything for education. Their courage shows us that influence can be resisted if you anchor yourself in your principles. Now, being your own influence ultimately comes down to these three choices. Pause. Before you react, before you follow, and before you say yes, pause. Because in that tiny moment between impulse and action is where your real voice lives. Ask yourself, is this really my decision or just the loudest voice in the room? Anchor. Define what truly matters to you before the moment decides for you. Build values so strong that trends, influence, and peers don't shake them. And speak. And this one is the hardest because speaking doesn't always mean talking loudly, but sometimes it means quietly standing up in what you believe. So the next time something drops at midnight and it feels like a global emergency, don't do what I did. I was this close to presenting my mom a slideshow titled iPhone 17, a basic necessity. And in that moment, I realized how something so small could take control of something as big as my judgment. And that's where we lose ourselves. Not in the big decisions, but in the quiet ones we never question. The ones where we say yes when we mean no. The ones where we follow instead of think. And the ones that slowly shape us into someone we never consciously choose to be. So in a world constantly telling you who to be and how to behave, the most radical act of rebellion you can make is to choose yourself and be your own influence. Thank you.